So I'm going to be teaching the Major Arcana now and why they're important in your reading. So essentially the Major Arcana are all about soul lessons, and they are soul lessons that are absolutely essential to understand in relationship to the life lessons. And the life lessons are the Minor Arcana cards. But the tarot cards represent the spiritual journey that each one of us takes through our lifetime. And we do know that tarot was recognized as a spiritual initiatory wisdom tool. And the Major Arcana are a way to introduce the soul themes into the reading. They can represent an anchor which underpins the unfolding story of the Minor Arcana. So when they appear in a reading, it implies either major transitions, focus points on the spiritual journey, or that we are progressing through certain lessons, and these are the ones that we need to know about at this time. So I'm very briefly going to go through some of the cards, and you have these cards in your workbook. So I'm going to go through it in a way that is slightly different from your workbook, so you have a bit more information. But as this is a way of learning tarot that is using your intuition, like tuning into your deeper knowledge that you have built up through this lifetime, and you have perhaps come in from another lifetime with. It's really important to not limit yourself into the readings as interpreted by somebody who wrote the cards and the meanings many centuries or decades ago. So, for example, we do know that there is a journey that the cards go through in the Major Arcana. So we start off as the Fool, and this applies to all of us in every situation, that the Fool is the beginning. The Fool is unknowing but all-knowing, unprepared for a journey, but going on one anyway. It's a journey of self-discovery. And the keywords associated, which are useful to know because your intuition can begin to work with those keywords and explain the story that's in front of them when all the cards are down, looking at the person you're working with, tuning into the person that you're working with, and relating the cards together. So this is an air card. The cards are associated with different elements, and words connected to the Fool are innocence and new beginnings and spontaneous. And you can sort of see that. And also, I really do want to encourage you to allow yourself to be in the card with the characters. So if you're having a hard time sleeping and you're lying there at night, or you have some time to sit down and meditate, then just go into that quiet space, that space of stillness and silence, and really feel the image. Have a look at it before you close your eyes, and then imagine yourself on the mountain top as the Fool. I did so the other night trying to help myself sleep. And the first thing I felt, which was just amazing to me, was I was freezing. I was really cold. Standing on the top of a mountain with snow peaks, you're going to be cold. Wouldn't necessarily think that when you look at the card, but that was what I first felt. And those are the kind of experiences I want you to have working with the cards, so that when this comes up in a reading, you'll understand how unprepared the Fool is for the leap of faith that he or she is about to make. So the Fool is also associated often with Uranus, with Aquarius and Pisces, and there are astrological associations with each of the cards, which is something else that we can go into in another time. But that is the Fool, and he is the beginning of this journey. He then becomes the Magician, and the Magician, he is the part of the journey where there's this kind of landed in this world, and let's begin now. What do I need to work my way and navigate through the world? Well, maybe I need to learn to walk. Maybe I need to learn to read. Maybe I need to learn to do yoga. You know, there's all different aspects that we come in at, obviously. And as a child, those skills, walking and reading, are very important. But as we get older, there's also a newness to everything that we do and a beginning to everything we do. And so the Magician grabs the tools, and he's also holding, you know, again, if you have a conversation and you go into the card with him and you experience what it's like to hold your values up high, your intentions, your hopes, your pulling forward, and ground it to the earth as he does in this card, that brings an integration of knowing that is very, very helpful, because he has everything he needs on the table here, as you see. And he's got this symbol of integration above his head. And there's many aspects of this card that come alive when you start to work with it. And it's totally enhanced by the story that's being told and by the person that's sitting in front of you and who they are. So let's see where else the Fool goes on and what he does next.